Two Toronto police officers discussed the rise in interest towards Islam following the October 7th attack that is now a deleted podcast episode. The Toronto Sun's Bryan Passifume has more on the scandal.
Well, the video is part of a podcast series that Toronto Police produces through their Muslim liaison office called the Project Olive Branch. That's the name of the podcast. So their initial intent was to, I guess, raise awareness for Islamophobia. The podcast was hosted by two TPS Muslim outreach officers, Constable Farhan Ali and Constable Harun Siddiqui. And what it turned into, the second episode, which was the one that kind of caused all the issues. And I want to say, by the way, like it wasn't uploaded to the podcast's official YouTube page. It was uploaded to Constable Ali's official Instagram page. It was split into four parts and uploaded. Yeah, some of the stuff they talked about caused a lot of eyebrows to go up and a lot of concern in the Jewish community. It was, for example, they were praising October 7th for a spike in converts to Islam, or as they call it, reverts, because Islam teaches that everybody is born Muslim at birth and they drift away from the faith, and that's why they refer to converts later in life as reverts, because you're reverting back to your natural state. And they also said a lot of really disturbing things about criticism of these anti-Israel protests, the ones you see in the street, people waving Hamas and Hezbollah flags, shouting anti-Semitic slogans. And they said that criticizing those events could be Islamophobia or anti-Palestinian racism, which I think is ludicrous. The two cops used a lot of what I would call DEI doublespeak, a lot of DEI terms like lived experiences and things like that. So quite clearly, this was an exercise in DEI politics that really run off the rails.
We also asked Bryan about how the Toronto police have responded to the outrage.
Response has been initially it was rather shocking. It kind of followed a lot of the response that a lot of the terrible response that Toronto Police has done since their questionable actions in enforcing the law at these protests. Initially, they just said that the podcast episode had been deleted. It didn't quite go how they wanted to, and they told me that's all they were prepared to say about it. I guess someone at Toronto Police, I guess, grew a brain and came to their senses and said maybe we should apologize for this, because their initial statement contained no apologies and no rationalization or any mention of the word Jewish at all. A statement that they tweeted later, a few hours after my story went viral, from the chief, said that Toronto Police understands the experiences of the Jewish community and the concerns of the Jewish community, and came forth with an apology. Unfortunately, it took Toronto Police's terrible response to this to this situation for that to happen. People were outraged at the situation and TPS's response, and yeah, this does is just draws more questions as to where TPS's heart is at. We see them, Toronto police officers, excusing a lot of blatant law breaking at these anti-Israel rallies, hate speech, overt anti-Semitism. So a lot of people in Toronto's Jewish community are going like, "What the heck?" It's and this is just another black eye in the face of Toronto police and their efforts to please everybody with everything.